Welcome back everybody to my SnowRunner Taymyr walkthrough, where we haven't used any mods and only the trucks that we found in the game so far. My name is Zorshix and I'm here to help you with tips and tricks to set you up for SnowRunner success. Today we'll be opening the garage in Zimnegorsk since we just completed the prerequisite geo-research contracts. On the last episode we did the radioactive fossils contract, and that brought us back to the Drownlands garage where we made some modifications to the Tayga. I installed the mid-level engine, the off-road gearbox, and since our work in the muddy Drownlands map is complete, the far superior OHD1 tires. They're essentially the same tire as the UOD2s that we've been using with a dirt rating of 3 and mud of 1.9. However, they have double the mass, being in the heavy class of tires, which results in more traction on the ground. We'll be working on the Key Buildings restoration contract, so the first thing we need to do is head back over to the quarry map. We're leaving the Drownlands garage and we'll swing by the warehouse on the way and pick up 4 vehicle spare parts for a future contract. Let's get started. The Tayga, I'm hoping, should do a lot better now that we have an engine upgrade, and I also installed that off-road gearbox to give it a little bit better power. On the last episodes that we've used this truck, it has struggled pretty bad with the base level engine and the balanced gearbox. Hoping to see some more performance out of it now. By opening the garage in Zimnegorsk, we will have another access point on the other side of the region, so that when we start doing more work in quarry, we don't have to come from here every single time in order to get things done. It should be a pretty big help and a pretty big advantage to our situation. We're basically done doing any work in Drownlands, at least for the time being. We will have to come back here again when we get to the end of the regional contracts, but that's quite a ways off, so it's better to have a home base that's more centrally located where we're going to be working. I definitely much prefer these tires, the OHD ones, over the Tayga balloon tires, but I do like to use the Tayga balloons when we're in situations where we have to do deep mud driving. When we get to Zimnegorsk, there will be some areas of deep mud, but I've found some alternative routes that'll help us to get around a little bit better, where we won't have to drive through as much of it. It's going to depend on the situation, but sometimes I will use the Tayga balloons in that map. Most of quarry is off-road. There also is a few areas of deep mud, but once again, there are typically alternative routes that we can get around without having to drive straight through it. So the OHD ones it is from here on out. I'm also looking forward to getting the top engine and the raised suspension in Zimnegorsk, but before we get ahead of ourselves, we'll have to finish scouting out quarry and move into the Rift map, where we'll have to do some work there, and then continue scouting out Zimnegorsk. Even with this mid-level engine, the truck still doesn't have a whole lot of power. At least if you're used to using the top engine in this truck, you'll know that that engine has a ton of power. It's not quite as fun to drive. It seems I forgot to grab the vehicle spare parts, so I need to turn around and head back to that warehouse. By going back to these earlier engines, you can definitely feel the difference, which is also why I've used a lot of the trucks that we've previously upgraded to the max, because even though the trucks themselves, like the Royal, are not necessarily as good of a truck as this, having the top engines in them makes them a little bit more enjoyable to use in these situations. Okay, we're back. We'll just swing around the loop once again, grab 4 vehicle spare parts, we'll get loaded up, we'll get the heck out of here and get back on the road. One thing you'll also notice is that when you go up in tire grip, like in this situation where we've increased the dirt rating from 2 to 3, the truck itself will feel less powerful because there's less tire slip on the ground, and so you're going to see it stall out more, versus with the Tayga balloons, the tires would just spin and keep the RPMs up. Another contributing factor is that these tires have a higher mass, and so it just takes more engine torque to turn them. Having all-wheel drive on and diff lock on all the time makes it so that all the tires require the same amount of power to get them rolling. So some of the American trucks, we were able to just put it in rear-wheel drive to achieve a little bit more power. With this truck, we cannot. I've managed to take out about half of my suspension on the way here, so I'm going to make a pit stop here right by the farm, because we have the A&K sitting just over this hilltop with a service trailer. Let's jump in there and drive it over here, and we can repair this truck real quick. We need to go into the quarry in the quarry map, and there are a lot of big rocks in there, so I don't really want to start that journey out having only half of my suspension. Let's get it repaired up real quick here. Okay, we're back on the road. Just up over this hilltop is the quarry gateway. We'll be there in a minute. Now, in order to rebuild the garage in Zimnegorsk, we need to load 1 fuel and 2 concrete slabs. So the first thing we'll do is swing into the fuel station here to the left and load up that 1 fuel container in the back of our trailer. And then we'll drive up the road, and I'll show you the route that I usually take going into the quarry. As you can see, we left 2 vehicle spare parts here previously. I'm just going to throw these up on the top so we can get them closer to where we're going to need them. Then we'll unload all 6 of the vehicle spare parts at the same time. Alright, we'll head up the road, and the next stop is the bottom of the quarry after we unload these. You can turn right here. That's one way in, but that is a muddy road, and I don't suggest ever taking it for any reason. So we'll pass that turn off. Just up ahead here, we need to clear this road blockage. It's a broken down tower that's right in the way. So we'll jump back to Drownlands and grab the Fleet Star that's up on top of the hill. We'll bring this down and load up 2 metal beams. As you remember, we came up here in a previous episode when we unlocked the quarry gateway. We drove up the road, but this time we're going to drive right through the trees. I just need to get around this trailer so I can connect to it. There we go. Let's get connected to this thing real quick. There it is. Then we're just going to drive straight through the trees. As you can see, we can go down the hill through the trees here. We'll get back to this road. We'll go to the bottom and to the warehouse. This is a quick way to get in and out of this area, and it's pretty forgiving. There's not much here that you really have to worry about. Right down by my point there is where we did the first seismic vibrator task, where we vibrated the ground here. So we'll leave here the same way we did when we were up here with the Royal. We're just going to go to the right of these big rocks instead of following that road down to the left. Fleet Star's got a low bumper, I keep forgetting. I gotta be more careful going across these dips. This truck likes to do face plants and then flip over. I found that out in Alaska. Jeez. As you can see, we found that out in Alaska when we were in the White Valley map. I was going into the logging station a little too fast, and I hit a dip, and this thing just did a face plant and flipped right over on its side. So that's one thing you gotta watch out for with this truck. Now that we've reached the bottom by the swamp, we'll just take this road out back to the highway. We've been down this path before. The warehouse is just over there to the left, so let's cross the road here. And I'll take it easy over this dip so we don't do another face plant. We're good. See if we can get a little more power out of this by turning the all-wheel drive off. I would much rather use the high-range gearbox with this thing, but I'm pretty concerned that it's going to just get destroyed the entire way. So we'll use the off-road gearbox for now. We are getting low on fuel, but the fuel station is just up to the left. I'm pretty sure we can make it there. And we made it. Do a drive-by refuel. Let's get the heck out of here. We'll make another pit stop by the A&K and get this thing repaired as well. Kind of beat it up on the way here. Alright, the next stop will be the Quarry Gateway, just up over the hill. I guess another way to do this, we could have just loaded the 2 metal beams into the Taiga instead of the 4 vehicle spare parts, and we could have used this truck to haul the 4 vehicle spare parts later. There's alternative options to doing things both ways. In the end, the same result will be achieved, so I don't think it really makes a big difference. Okay, we've arrived to the roadblock. We'll just see if we can get right around the side of the Taiga and deliver these. Clearing the way is now complete. We can load these vehicle spare parts up into the Fleet Star since we're here. We'll just transfer this load over. Drop 2 of these off in the trailer, and then the other 2 can just double stack on the flatbed of the Fleet Star. I'll pack these real quick before we load the rest. We'll jump back in the Taiga, repack that fuel in the back, and then head up the road. Now this is the second way you can take into the quarry. By going down that path, it'll take you straight in there, and there's nothing wrong with going that way. There is a sharp turn that you have to make if you choose to, and I prefer not to, so we'll go up a little bit further. We'll take this path, and there's a straight shot that goes right down the hill into the bottom. You do have to watch out for stumps right here. You can see there's a couple of them in the grass, but you can drive right between them and then go down the hill. Now from here, you can follow this road all the way around, and it'll go down into the bottom, or you can turn down the hill also. Whichever way. Both ways are fine. We need 2 concrete slabs, so we'll load these up, and then we could choose to load 2 extra concrete slabs to take with us for a future contract, but I think that we're already pushing our luck with the amount of weight we have in here, so we'll take 2 instead of 4. Now leaving here, we can go up this road that's to the right here. This is very similar to the Michigan Smithville Dam quarry. Basically, it's the same route. We'll stick to the right so we don't get hung up on this rock that's on the left side. Make this corner wide. The truck is struggling, but it's doing okay still. There, I'm starting to power out. I'm gonna go down to regular low. These OHD tires have a lot of traction. And then now that we're back up here on the main road, we'll just follow it around and go right back out the way we came. Got stuck on a rock, I think, but there it is. So you just have to watch out for these stumps. The stumps are actually convenient because that's what helped us to be able to winch ourselves out of there. But you do got to watch out for them when you're driving through here. Okay, we have everything we need to rebuild the garage. The next stop is going to be the Zimnegorsk, which is just up the road to the right. This will be our path. Let's get going. Straight up ahead here, there's a task where we have to repair this little Zix 5368. We can get that active. Welcome to Zimnegorsk. As you can see, when you enter the gateway, the garage is literally right ahead, very close. So we'll just drive up the road a little ways and pull right in here. The drop-off point for this is directly entering the yard. If you found value in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. There it is, Key Building's restoration is complete. We now have a garage in Zimnegorsk and another garage on the other end of the region that we can use for work in Quarry, Rift, and Zimnegorsk. On the next episode, we'll get started on doing some of that work. Thanks for coming around, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.